way to Staten Island, you can take nice pictures of Lady Liberty or Manhattan or Brooklyn. You can take a walk in Staten Island. And then come back here again and take our downtown bus. And now we're in downtown of Manhattan, in the downtown Manhattan. He bought Manhattan in $24. What we do describe New York with a city of ships. The ships of Mauritania, the New Amsterdam, the Rotterdam, the Bremen, the Europe, all of them they are in Europe, but their home was New York. And New York, it is the greatest natural port in the world. It doesn't need any dredging works. On our right side, very soon you will see the Police Museum, which is a very interesting museum. It was opened in 1929. And on our website we have the Hanover Square. Captain Kidd's house was located in the middle of Hanover Square. New York comprises 5 boroughs: Manhattan, the Bronx, Queens, Brooklyn, and the Staten Island. And now we're in Manhattan. In Manhattan, it is not an English word, it is American Indian word, Manhattan, which means the island of hills, the island of mountains. 8 million people live in New York, and New York has its nickname, a Big Apple, and it has its motto, Excelsior, which means ever upwards. So, on our right side, you see the Police Museum. And now, we are coming up to Wall Street. It's 94 centuries ago, when Peter Steps, the last governor of the Dutch Company, he erected a project to blow. And have a look to the left side. Left side, you'll see the Wall Street, and you'll see the Trinity Church. It is the most influential and wealthiest church in the United States. It is the third site of the church, and its cemetery is the last resting home to such luminaries as Alexander Hamilton, Fulton, Gallantin, Astor Vanderbilt, and many others. So, dear ladies and gentlemen, if you have our brochures, we are on the red line. And our tour is Brooklyn tour, and Brooklyn, it is famous for its Brooklyn Bridge. It is famous for its Brooklyn Dodgers. It is famous for its Junior Cheesecake. It is famous for its museums, parks, brownstone buildings, and 3 bridges. 3 bridges link Brooklyn and Manhattan. The Brooklyn Bridge, the Manhattan Bridge, and the Williamsburg Bridge. And we shall take the Manhattan Bridge. And on our right side, we have the South Street Seaport Museum. And on our right side, you see the fair market, and we have the fair market, the meat market, the fish market, and different kinds of markets. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, from early spring after late autumn, on Saturdays and on Sundays, we close the streets for the fair markets. We're coming up to East Chinatown. When you took our downtown tour, you were in the West Chinatown. Now we're coming up to the East Chinatown. But our Chinatown, it is not the largest Chinatown in the United States. On our left side, across the street in the corner, we have the area which is called Civic Center. And the Civic Center rests on an old lake. In 1808, the city fathers drained the lake. They wanted to sell the land, but nobody wanted to buy. People were afraid, and after many years, the city fathers decided to build the Civic Center. And if you take a walk in our civic weapons, guns, Mr. Punta. So, ladies and gentlemen, on our left side, we're in the Civic Center. And can you imagine that on our left side, many years ago, we had a lake, and on our left side, you see the brown building. It is the police headquarters. And now I want to show to you the oldest Jewish graveyard in New York. It's 1654. 23 Jews that came to New Amsterdam, and Peter Stuyvesant, who was the last governor, he didn't welcome them. Then he was told that he was ruling the business company and not the religious establishment, and 18 Jews were fighting during the American Revolution. They are buried here, and Benjamin Sykes, one of the founders of our stock exchange, he is buried here too. And during the American Revolution, the Jews strongly supported George Washington, Jefferson, Monroe, Madison, and they were real patriots. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to East Chinatown. And by the way, if you want to buy some souvenirs, you'd better buy in Chinatown because they're cheaper in Chinatown than in other parts of Manhattan. And you can bargain for a lower price. If they say $10, you say $8, $8, $6, $6, $4, and so on. But be careful, not everything is original in Chinatown. You can buy a Rolex in $20 or $30, but it is not real Rolex. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to take the picture of the oldest Jewish graveyard, just get your photo cameras ready and have a look to the right side. And meanwhile, ahead of us you see a statue of a man, and he burnt 2.5 million pounds of opium during the Opium War. And here we have Little Italy on Mulberry Street. Mulberry Street, it is a hut of Little Italy, and it represents the Italian restaurants and the Italian stores. Well, people want to take the pictures. It's all kind of slow down here on our right side. Let the people take the pictures. Okay. I want to thank our driver. Thank you. So, my dear ladies and gentlemen, get your photo cameras ready. Very soon our bus will be turning to the left, and on our left side you'll see a beautiful building. It is a municipal building. When you want to get married, you come here. When you want to be divorced, you come here too. Joseph Stalin, he liked the building, and he built Lomonosov's University in Moscow. He put in the model of the building. Have a look to the left side. Now you see the building. And on our right side, you see the column memorial. It commemorates American Chinese who were killed during the American wars. And on our left side, the right side, you see Chinese philosopher. And very soon our bus will be turning to the right. We shall take the Manhattan Bridge. At the Manhattan Bridge, it is a double-decker bridge. It was completed in 1909. It was designed by Marcia. It is notable for its ceremonial homage, which was designed by Carrier Hastings, and they started in France. At the end of the 19th century, the Americans that went off to Europe to study, they were fascinated by the European architecture. And when they came back, they built beautiful mansions, beautiful arches, and beautiful bridges. And now, ladies and gentlemen, on our right side, across the street, you see a building with the red columns and the green roofs. And it is the main Buddhist temple in New York. So, ladies and gentlemen, again, I ask you to be seated, please. So, ladies and gentlemen, now we are on Manhattan Bridge, and very soon on our right side you'll see the Brooklyn Bridge. And the Brooklyn Bridge was completed in 1883. It was designed by John Rembling. John Rembling, he was German. He was 61 years old, and he was killed by accident while he was taking the sightseeing for his project. He left the responsibility on the shoulders of his son. And his son got the veteran of his disease and after paralyzed, he was supervising the construction from his bedroom window using the telescope. And his wife, Emily, she helped him. She used to take his notes and she gave the notes to the workers. And she was the first person, the first woman who crossed the bridge. And she was the first licensed engineer in the United States. So ladies and gentlemen, have a look to the right side. You see the Brooklyn Bridge. The Williamsburg Bridge was completed in 1903, but they considered Williamsburg Bridge after the Bridge, and that's why they decided to build the Manhattan Bridge. We are now on Manhattan Bridge, and now on our right side we have the neighborhood which is called Dumbo, and Dumbo means down under Manhattan Bridge overpass. It was famous for its 19th century warehouses, but then the artists moved from New York to Dumbo. They invited the name Brooklyn in honor of their small town in Holland, and they used their own boats, the same boats to Manhattan. When Robert Fulton launched the steamboat, the Brooklynites, they took his steamboat every day to Manhattan to do shopping and to attend churches. And when the bridge was open, the rich people from Manhattan, they moved into Brooklyn, and they opened the stores, they opened the factories and mills, and beautiful mansions. But until 1898, Brooklyn and New York, they were the separate cities, and many Brooklynites, they did not want to join New York. They used to say they had nothing to do with New York, only the East River joined them. But on the 31st of December in 1898, more than 100,000 people, they got together in our City Park to celebrate the birthday of a greater New York, which we have now. And you need more than 3 weeks to explore Brooklyn. Brooklyn consists of 6 small towns and 90 neighborhoods. And now we are in the downtown of Brooklyn. The downtown of Brooklyn, it is a historic place. And here we have many sites which are connected with the Civil War and with the American Revolution. In the head of us we have the area, it is called Metro Tech. The businessmen from Manhattan, they opened their offices here because the rent in Brooklyn is lower than in Manhattan. And now we're coming up to G Street, and John G, he was the first chief justice in the United States. And we go straight, very soon we will see Abraham Lincoln, Mark Twain, Dickens, they worship in the Plymouth Church, and Henry Beecham, he delivered his sermons 40 years in the Plymouth Church, and his sister, she is the author, Uncle John's Cabin. And now we're coming up to Cadman Plaza, and Mr. Cadman, he was the radio preacher, and he was the head of all the churches in Brooklyn. And on our left side, ahead of us, you see a building under renovation, and it is the main post office in Brooklyn. And on our right side, very soon you will see the Brooklyn Bridge, and on our right side, in the corner, you see a tall building, and it is a port. And by the way, the following cases have been tried here: Michael Dyson's, John Gaddis, and Narita Moss. And on our left side, at the end of the block, we have the Memorial. And on our right side, you see the park, and inside of the park, you'll see the World War II Memorial. And during the World War II, more than 300,000 Brooklynites, they went off to Europe to fight. And during the Second World War, the Queen Mary and the Queen Elizabeth, they carried 15,000 soldiers at a time to Europe.
पुढे गेल्यावर येणार बरोबर तेव्हा आता काय
And about 3-4 months ago, on our right side, we had the buildings. They have demolished the buildings. Those were created in park. And I think here, the next time we see and on our right side was the river. And very soon on our right side, we see of the 18th century up to the middle of the 19th century, more than 20 million people, they came to Ellis Island together. And now we have come up to Mary Montague Street, and Mary Montague, she was a famous English poet in Britain. One of my favorite, Mary Montague. Ladies and gentlemen. Of us, if you go straight, very soon you will see, not very soon if you have the cars, you will see Coney Island. And many years ago, Coney Island was the most famous entertainment place in the world. It was famous for its Luna Park, for its Dreamland Park. But now, Coney Island is famous for the House of Harvest. On our right side, you see a huge white building. It was a Dutch colonial building. It dates back to the middle of the 18th century. And ahead of us, we have Brighton Beach. When the Soviet Union collapsed, the Russian Jews, they moved into Brighton Beach and they converted the Brighton Beach into Little Odessa. In Odessa, it is the capital of the Russian Jews. And they opened fancy stores, they opened the international food diners. It is a nice place. You want to be a tour guide? You want to be a tour guide? Okay, my dear ladies and gentlemen, now our bus is turning to the left. And on our left side, ahead of us, you see the many brown buildings. And it was the Epitsville, if you like, the baseball, like, you know, Dodgers, our Brooklyn Dodgers, they were located here, they played here. And I think you know the names, Joe Campanella, Robinson, Jenny Black, all of them, they played here. And Los Angeles stole the team from us. Now, ladies and gentlemen, on our right side, we have the neighborhood which is called Crown Heights. In 1991, we had a very bad accident here. A Jewish driver who killed the guy and his child, and then the Jewish student was killed. The Jewish revival student. We had the riot here at the neighborhood organization. They viewed the incident and they created a unity day. And everything what is connected with the Dutch colonial period. And by the way, if you take a walk to the right side, you will see the Children's Museum. And our Children's Museum, it is the first and the largest children's museum in the world. And they have about 1,000 dolls, and the children, they can play with the toys in the museum. So ladies and gentlemen, get your photo cameras ready and head to the left side.
Left level sound.
So ladies and gentlemen, now we're coming up to Grand Army Plaza, and you'll have the opportunity to see the marvelous arch the second time. And when I speak about the Civil War, I want to say some words about Grant. When Grant died, 1 million people they followed his funeral, and 90 celebrate New Yorkers. They accumulated his money for the memorial because Grant, he was not only the famous president of the United States, he was the agent. And by the way, on our left side, you see two flags, and one flag has three colors, orange, white, and dark blue. It is the flag of New York City, and the orange color because the Dutch Queen's name was Orange. Now, ladies and gentlemen, ahead of us, you will see the memorial. And by the way, it was opened by Teddy Roosevelt. And on our right side, you see a statue to Mr. Slocum. He was under General Sherman. And on our left side, you will see the Motor Club. Motor Club. And now our bus is turning to the right. We shall take the millionaire. And by the way, he came up with the idea of buying cars on credit, and he was funny with the idea to especially here when the because Mr. President was number one. To the Chrysler building, and Mr. Chrysler, he wanted to build something that would be the symbol of the empire. And really, the Chrysler building is the best building in New York and one of the best buildings in the United States.